All right, let's dive in. Today, we're going to unpack the geopolitics of AI. We're drawing from a recent strategic briefing by J.P. Morgan to look at how artificial intelligence is fast becoming the planet's new operating system and, completely rewriting the global balance of power as it does.
So let's start with just one number, $500 billion. What in the world does that get you? Well, that's the rumored price tag for a single AI project in the private sector. But believe me, this isn't just about building some massive supercomputer. This is the down payment on something way, way bigger.
Yep, that number, that's the price of admission. It's the buy-in for the next global arms race. Only this one's not going to be fought with tanks and fighter jets. No, this one's all about algorithms, massive data centers, and raw processing power. And that's because AI isn't just another piece of tech. You have to think of it as the new global operating system. It's the foundational layer that everything else is going to be built on top of. It's going to redefine our economies, our alliances, and even how wars are fought.
So, on this new global chessboard, who are the big players? Well, two superpowers are already making their moves, the United States and China. They're both gunning for the top spot, but they are playing with two totally different playbooks. First, you gotta follow the money. And this chart, wow, it shows the absolutely staggering financial lead the United States has, and it's driven almost entirely by the private sector. We're talking more than 3 times China's investment over a decade. That kind of cash is fueling innovation at a scale we've just never seen before.
But, and this is a huge but, money isn't the whole story. While the US is way ahead in spending, China is closing the quality gap at a breathtaking speed. Look at this. In just about a year, their state-directed strategy slashed the performance gap with top US models from over 9% to less than 2%. It's pretty clear that cash isn't the only thing that matters in this race.
So let's break down these two completely different playbooks. The US is betting on its powerhouse private sector to come up with the next big thing, folding that tech into its military and then using export controls to keep its rivals a step behind. China, they're going the other way. It's a state-led push for mass adoption and total self-sufficiency. And get this, they're exporting open-source models, basically giving away the blueprints to build influence across the developing world. Now, you might be thinking this is just a two-horse race, but it's getting a lot more complicated. A whole new group of players is entering the field because they refuse to just sit on the sidelines. They're all building their own power bases around this really powerful idea called sovereign AI.
So what exactly is sovereign AI? Well, you can think of it like a country's declaration of technological independence. It's a national game plan to build an entire AI ecosystem from the ground up, controlling the hardware, developing the talent, and, most critically, writing their own rules. Europe is the perfect case study here. Their play isn't to outspend or outbuild the US on hardware. Nope. Their strategy is what you could call regulatory sovereignty. Through their Big AI Act, the EU is basically trying to write the global rule book. If you want to do business in their huge market, well, you have to play by their rules.
And this quote from French President Emmanuel Macron really drives home just how high the stakes are. He's saying this isn't just about technology, it's about the survival of democracy itself. If you don't set the rules for the algorithms, someone else will, and they'll be deciding your future for you.
Meanwhile, there's a totally different strategy playing out in the Middle East. Countries like the UAE and Saudi Arabia are chasing what you could call infrastructure sovereignty. They're pouring their massive sovereign wealth into becoming the world's hub for data centers. They're positioning themselves to be the physical backbone, the landlords really, of the entire global AI system.
And that brings us to a crucial point, a reality check for the AI race. This whole thing isn't going to be won by code floating around in the cloud. It's going to be decided right here on the ground by whoever controls the actual physical stuff that makes AI work. This is where code meets concrete. It all starts with one simple thing: power, raw electricity. AI is incredibly thirsty for energy. The demand from data centers is on track to double by 2030. Suddenly, a nation's power grid isn't just a utility anymore, it's a core strategic asset. The new question for every country is, can you even generate enough power to compete? So what's all that energy for? It's to power this, an industry that's projected to be worth $1 trillion by 2030. We're talking about semiconductors. These little chips are the engines of AI, and the global scramble to control how they're made is now right at the center of geopolitics.
So forget what you thought you knew. These are the real battlegrounds of the 21st century.
It's not just about code anymore. It's about electricity capacity. It's about who can build or buy the most advanced chips. It's about controlling the critical minerals you need to make the hardware. And it's about securing the supply chains to put it all together. These are the choke points that will decide the winners and losers.
Which brings us to the final arena. Beyond all the money, beyond the hardware, the ultimate contest is really about governance. Who gets to write the rules, who sets the standards and defines the ethics for this new global operating system.
And this is where things get really fascinating, because in this next phase, being credible is going to be just as important as being capable. It's not enough to just have the most powerful AI model. To get global buy-in, you need trust. You need to create AI systems that other countries believe are safe, reliable, and aligned with their values.
So the race is on to become the world's rule maker. You've got the US and China in this complex dance of competition and, well, necessary cooperation. You have Europe trying to make its AI Act the global gold standard, India stepping up, positioning itself as a key voice for the global south. And then you have the UN trying to get everybody in the same room to talk.
And all of this, it all boils down to this one final pivotal question. In this new era of sovereign AI, where every nation wants to control its own technological destiny, what happens next? Are we going to build digital bridges and find common ground? Or are we going to build fortified digital empires, separated by walls of code and competing values? The answer to that is going to shape our world for decades to come.